is Eric Wayne with United Realty Group, the business broker. How are you? We work with a lot of people who were for sale by owners, didn't know anything about business brokerage. Maybe a residential agent tried to help them, tried to sell it on their own, maybe on Craigslist or so. I want to take you into a database of where businesses are actually sold, tens of millions of dollars worth of businesses annually. I've been doing this since 1989. I'm a licensed real estate agent. Yes, I've sold houses, but I've graduated to only selling businesses. I'm a top producer. I'm top 5% in the state of selling businesses. Award-winning. Okay, I'd say it that way. The team is award-winning. I wanted to share with you, Craigslist is great. I've sold things on Craigslist, patio furniture and cars and, various different things. They are not a business broker. If you go to businesses and you see where people are placing themselves next to, these are, refrigerators and furniture and tents and different things. I have a database similar to the MLS for houses, but strictly of small business with experts like myself who are licensed, a lot of education, how to do this, reading P&L statements, learning about the ad backs, understanding leases, advertising, the law. I'm not an attorney, but we have to understand the accounting, PPE, various different things. If you're placing a business in here, you're never going to get seen. 95% of all small business transactions are done brokerage to brokerage, not Craigslist to buyer. It's just not done that way because, number one, if someone's got $1 million in their pocket or $500,000 in their pocket, they don't need to go on Craigslist. There's a database of small businesses for sale and professionals like myself that dress up every day in a suit and a tie, and we drive people around showing them businesses, making appointments, help them analyze the financials, and that's what we do. So if you're really serious about selling, you need a team of brokers working for you to bring you the world's best buyer so you can get the highest price the fastest. And yes, there's an expense. There's a marketing expense. There's a commission. But you can save the commission and get, half the offer, or you can pay 10, 12% commission to two different offices, 5% and 5% or 6% and 6%, and get the top dollar that's available to you because now you have, databases, you have retail ads, you have 1,100 people and teams and different brokerages spending tens of thousands of dollars on their marketing to find both the sellers and the buyers. And that all comes together here in the association. This is the largest association of business brokers in the state of Florida. It's actually the largest association anywhere in the country. Happens to be here in Florida, and I'm a member. Again, I'm licensed since '89. I've been a member almost since the beginning of this association. We do searches all day long, strictly businesses. No patio furniture, no tents, no TV sets, no rims for cars, none of that. This is a business database with business professional agents working for our clients, both buyers and sellers. I only work with sellers. I bring buyers to my sellers. I'm what's called a listing agent, so I understand business owners very, very well, and I've made it my specialty to understand their financials and their situation and each industry. If I do a search, first of all, these are the actives. I could do a search by county, but I'm just going to say all Florida, and then I want to go to auto, and I just want to share with you, there's subcategories within auto, and we're going to come back here in a minute to show you the solds. But for right now, just want to show you all the other owners that decided that they need to work with a broker. Craigslist, I love Craigslist to find people that need help, but it's not going to work for you. And even if you had an offer, you'll never know if it was the right offer or the best offer or the fastest offer or how to even value the business. These are all the automotives. And I can do with comments, instead of just one line, I can do with comments. There's 151 guys in the automotive sector in Florida right now, active. All different levels of income and sales. Here's Broward County, Lee County. I can sort this by location. You were in Broward, I can pull up the ones in Broward. I can pull up the ones that are making a certain dollar amount. I can pull up a certain subcategory and tell you, look, this is who our competition is. This is what the commission they're offering is to get the best buyer. And then we go to the sold database and I can say, look, if you're making $100,000 and you're in Broward and you're in this sector and your sales are within this range, it's a multiple of that $100,000. And that's what your sales price should be. We can come up with some numbers that may help you. I don't know if anyone's done this with you or not, but we have businesses that are not profitable all the way to businesses that are very profitable. There's 151 of them in your industry. Now, if I go back a little further, I could be more narrow. I'm going to show you. So that was 151. There are two dealers, if that's the only category you fit under. And again, I need more detail. I need your website. I need to know what your level of motivation is. So now I'm only looking at dealers that are for sale, all sources of proving the financials. And I'm going to do the with comments, since there's only two of them, we'll include the comments. One of them is netting 71. Now we don't know what year that is until I open this up. And one is netting the owner 795 with sales. There's a range here. These guys are trying to get sold, and they show some financials. They talk about square footage. They talk about the lease, the warehouse, all of that. And then here's the next one. Moving, here's the asking price and the sales and the earnings. And this is 2020. It's on a P&L statement. You'll get the tax return eventually. $6,000 a month, $5,200. So as you can see, this is very well organized for guys that want to sell their business. But you can't get into this for $3. $3 doesn't do it, because we have too much overhead, quite frankly. There's a lot that goes into the marketing, the promotion, the education, everything that we need in order to know how to do this and package it. And we might work for you for a year for free and never sell it. So those are kind of the things that are involved. So let me show you the solds. Here's a sold database. All Florida. I'm going to show you our success stories. Again, I'm going to leave it all categories of automotive. All automotive, all time frames, all 20 years of solds. I'm going to show you, I'm going to adjust it by adjusted net. The ones that are out of business perhaps to making a little bit of profit. There's 817 that my association and myself have been responsible for actually selling. And we specialize in automotive. The most profitable one was making 1.2 million. It sold, I think this is the sale right here. You can see we do car wash, detail, body, the whole gamut. So once we know more about your sales and your profit and the county and your motivation level, I can compare you to the ones most like yours to give you a realistic expectation as to what time frame, what down payment you might expect, what price, the ratio of profit. And when I say profit, I mean the adjusted net, not the net. All of the perks, the adjusted net versus what they've been selling for. So 1 times the adjusted net, 1.5 times the adjusted net, 2 times, there's a ratio for every industry at every time in the economy. So now I have automotive, I have dealership, and I'm in the solds. And I'm going to show you all Florida with all sources of income. If you were proving your financials on the tax returns, you would do better than if it was owner approved. But I'm just going to give you a blend of all the solds. And here they are. My association's been responsible for 11 solds of auto dealerships specifically. Craigslist has probably been 0, because that's not where somebody would ever look for a dealership. They're working with an agent. Agents are working with other agents because they're going to be compensated a commission. These are some of your solds. Let me go back a little further. I'm going to show you what sold this year. See, I can compare your business, once I know more about it, to the same industry. Let's say you only care about this year because it was the coronavirus year, and you want to know the ratio of adjusted net versus the actual sold price. And I'm going to give you the comments too. And I'm going to sort it by how profitable they were. 3 of them sold this year. This is a car dealership and general repair. This is automotive, combination car rental dealership. If I went one by one, it gives me the information that I need. Here, I'll also show you quick how the ratios work. This is not a valuation of your business because I don't know where you fall on the scale here, but days on market were 265 for the ones that did sell this year. The rent was about 6% of their sales on average. This guy was 10%, 5%, 1%. So we would find, which ones are most like yours. Sold price to adjusted net 1.04. So if you're making $100,000 total to the owner benefit, cash, perks, personal bills being paid, $100,000, let's say, you're worth 104. If you had 200 to the bottom line, then you'd be worth 208. On average, 43 cents on a dollar is the adjusted net of these 3. I'm not comparing you to a $6.8 million business, but if it were, this is how this would work. So that's pretty much all I have for you. The team is here to help you. My website is ericsellmybusiness.com. Phone number is 954-562-2019. So when you compare what I have here, which is 22,000 solds with top experts in the Florida and the largest association in the country, versus Craigslist or any other medium of selling general merchandise, you can see that there's a much different situation. We know how to do the ad backs. We know how to pre-qualify our buyers. We know which buyers to call. We know which agents to call because we know who is selling that industry. And I can do searches on who's been selling them, call them, say, hey, I have a listing. This is what it is. Here's the financials. Here's photos. Here's a list of the furniture, the fixtures, the inventory, the equipment. And we go from there. And it's all confidential. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.